this is Dorian Paul Williams, and you are watching the Church TV Network. Don't turn that channel.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This is Here's My View. I'm Chris.
I'm Javan.
I'm glad to have you back if you're here with us. I'm gonna let Javan go ahead and tell us what we're gonna talk about tonight.
All right, for tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about sin. We're not just going to be talking about sin. We're going to be talking about what it is, what the effects of sin are, and how do we help ourselves refrain from sinning and casting judgment on others for their sins. You know, a lot of people have their things that they deal with. We have our certain things that we deal with. So that's going to be our topic for tonight. We also have some other music videos and things for you. So the first thing that we're going to show you is a music video coming from the group entitled Basic. This is their performance at Kama this past year. The song is entitled Sunday Morning. We hope you enjoy this video. Welcome back, everybody. Just to make a correction, Basics performance was at Blue Spring Road Church of Christ instead of at Kemper. That was my mistake, guys. I apologize. I'm human, so we'll get past it. All right, to tonight's topic, sin. The first thing we're going to cover is what is sin. Now, this seems a little elementary. It may seem a little elementary to some people, but let's just be honest. A lot of things that we do, we try to ignore it and think it's all right and say that it's not sin when it is. So let's just cover that. Chris, why don't you cover that for us? What is sin, brother? Just at the most fundamental level.
At the most fun, everything the Bible tells you not to do. Fornication, adultery, stealing, lying. I would hate to say this one. Being gay. There's just a whole bunch of it. Homosexuality.
Come on, bro.
I got to be more, have a little bit more etiquette when I say that. But those are a couple of things that we consider sin. But I mean, the Bible clearly talks about it. And what we tend to do nowadays are
make excuses.
Make excuses, but also we try to put levels to it to make other people's sins seem a little bit worse than ours. And that's not the case. If you look at John chapter 8, when Pharisees brought the adulterous woman to Jesus, and they was like, Jesus, she committed adultery, she needs to be stoned. And he looked at him, he said, I believe it was right at verse 7, he was like, he who is without sin cast the first stone. And to me right there, he was showing that, granted, adultery is wrong, but he put sin on a level, on an even playing field to where we can't really say, okay, your sin is worse than my sin, or my sin is not as bad as your sin. So first of all, we got to realize sin in general is sin and it's wrong, and we can't put a level or an amount on how big sin is. Like, sin is going to be sin. It's all bad to God, and that's what we really got to keep in mind.
I think sin is contagious.
Yeah.
I think we have to be careful, and I don't want to seem like a hypocrite up here because I know I need to do a lot better
we
on
all
some stuff
do,
that
brother.
we support, like TV shows and stuff we watch, the music that we listen to, that kind of stuff seeps into our lives, and then we get used to it, and then that makes an avenue for sin to where they have it everywhere. We don't think we might not accept it, but we don't really think anything of it. So, like you said, it's on music, we watch it on TV, and we just support it, and we don't think anything of it. So, like you said, on different levels. I was at a church called Central Church of Christ down there in Tuscaloosa a couple of weekends ago, and the preacher was talking about being blind to our own sins and things that we seem to make greater than others. Like you said earlier, homosexuality. He said he was watching this show, one of his favorite shows on TV, and I guess those people on there, I guess they were having, they were couples and they were having relations on there, sleeping around with each other, whatever. But that seems more common to us, so we don't think about it as much. So he said he kept watching the show, and then he said on there, I guess one of the characters ended up being homosexuality, and that's where he drew the line. He said, I can't watch this show no more. Where I guess he's seen that as a greater sin than them shacking up, or committing fornication, and that's just something he was more used to. So he said he had to recognize that he was putting levels to sin, and he was accepting one of it while thinking that the other one was worse, when in reality, all of it is wrong, and we have to try to stay away from that. So I guess there's just ways that we kind of, put levels on sin, and, our level, the ones that we commit, is always lower than somebody else's. So I think, do you have a scripture on that? Just an example about us looking at other people's sins. Oh, but that's the one you just said, casting the first stone.
Yeah, another one I could use is Matthew 7, I believe the verse is 3, where it talks about the beam or in your eye and the little speck in your brother's eye. And it's funny because everybody else's sin always seems worse to us, or what everybody else is doing seems bad. Even if we're doing the same thing, it's always going to be worse for them. Like, oh, I can't believe they doing that. And we do the same thing. And so a lot of times we got to, like my boss used to say, or my boss still says, take a checkup from the neck up and really examine ourselves and what we do, because a lot of times we'll be in the wrong more than somebody else, and we really need to focus on cleaning out our lives before we try to focus on cleaning up somebody else's mess. It's a song or something like that. They say, go sweep around your front porch before you come sweeping around mine. I don't know. I'm just quoting here. But like on a serious note, we really do have to be careful of how we judge others, and are really quick to get on to others about their nature, their sins, or whatever they struggle with, when we have things we struggle with as well. And so that's something we all have to work on. I know I'm guilty of it, he's guilty of it, we are guilty of it. But the great thing about it is we have each other to hold each other accountable, and also to try to help grow. But another way I look at sin is I know sometimes, especially as I was young, I used to think because I was baptized and grace saved me, you know, hey, I can sort of mess up from time to time, and it's not a big deal. But Romans chapter 6, read 8 through 23. That really sheds a different light. And Paul sort of coming from the perspective of, even though you have grace, it's not wise to sin. Like, why would I keep sinning over and over just because I have grace? I mean, the whole purpose of us being baptized and being saved is to do better and get rid of that old man. So
it's not always about, you know, we're humans and we're going, you know, we're going to mess up, but it's about how you respond to sin. So we have to make sure, you know, once we mess up, we get back up. We don't wallow in that and try to continue to do the same things because you know that God's going to forgive you. That's not how the relationship works.
Not cool.
So after this break, we're going to go to another music video. This music video is on a live acapella music playlist. This is actually coming from Delville Heights Church of Christ. The Dothaires with Brother Copeland, they'll be singing No More Water But Fire next time. We hope you guys appreciate this. Like we said, this is on the live music playlist, acapella concert playlist. So in your free time, you can go in there and check out plenty more other videos. But at this time, we'll be playing that for you.
Go check it out.
And then I'll answer first.
That was Copeland and the Dothaires with No More Water But Fire next time.
This your home group, ain't it?
Not my home group. It's my hometown. They actually originate from Dothan. But anywho, I really love hearing that group. It's really amazing. They sort of like the southern Southside singers, if you will. And Copeland, the way he just can grab your attention, it's amazing. But I really love the Dothaires. If you're watching, I love y'all. Y'all are great. But we're going to go ahead and keep on going with this topic. Brother Javan, go ahead.
Okay, so tonight we're going to answer our first question from the live chat. We have a question from Travis Parker. His question is listening to hard rap considered a sin? Okay, just from my view, since the show is entitled that, from my perspective, the Bible doesn't speak on rap because there isn't rap, but it does talk about associating yourself with different things and putting yourself in situations. Evil things corrupt good morals. So I can't say that it's a sin, but I would say on your Christian journey, as you're trying to please God and go on about being a better Christian in your lifestyle, listening to hardcore rap can't help. So
it doesn't make it any better at all.
But I'm not gonna say you less of a person for listening to it, because I know we all fall victim to it. But that leads to a good segue here. Me and Chris are gonna try to give our points of views on some things that help us try to refrain from sin. Like we said earlier, we look at other people's sins as being worse than ours, but we have to examine our own sins and not be blind to our own sins, like King David was when they brought up him taking the other person's sheep or whatever. When he only had one and he had thousands, he was blind to his own sin because he wanted to kill he was like, I want to kill that person because they were wrong from it. Well, in reality, that was him. So we don't want to be that person. So right now, for me, I want to recognize the things that I struggle with, and some things that I do is just try not to put myself in situations to where I know it's my weak spot. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I try to make sure I read my Bible, especially if I feel, a lot of times we forget to pray. We forget to read our Bible, and it goes by the only time we read our Bible is on Wednesdays and Sundays. So the thing that helps me stay focused is to just sit down and come to myself and remember who I am. We get caught up in this world, man, where everything's so normal. Like listen to hardcore rap. It don't seem like a big deal, you know what I'm saying? But if you remember who you are and what your goal is in this life, you kind of come to yourself and be like, maybe this is not the best thing for me. So what I have to do is just sit down, pause everything else because everything is so busy, and try to read my Bible. I know my Bible app has different plans. You can choose out which ones that you like to read. So for me, I try to go to those things that talk about lifestyle and being a better Christian man, and just surrounding yourself with positive things and feeding myself the word. So those are some things that help me. What helps you when you're dealing with the things that you...
It's pretty much the same, but I try to just remember key things. Like we've been studying John here recently on Wednesday nights, and they talk about in John 7, Jesus tells his brothers, the world can't hate you because you're not you act like them, but they hate me because I'm not of this world, and I sort of condemn the things they do. And it always makes me think about how when you're baptized, one of the goals is to try to kill off that old man, and you got to think of all the things you did before you were saved, or even if you were saved and at a younger age, you just got to think of those things that we don't consider, or the Bible doesn't consider necessarily right, and try to rid those habits. And whether it be rap music or anything like that, you got to try to slowly get yourself off of it and focus more on the spiritual side, because the thing is, that's what's going to help you grow and help you get closer to God. And that's, to me, what it's really all about. So I try to make sure I remind myself of Colossians 3:1-5 about how I'm really trying to focus on things above and not here below. Because you can get caught up on the things of this earth because you think this is your permanent dwelling place, but this is only a temporary place for us. And our sight should be set on things above. But the Bible plans definitely help. Praying. I like trying to talk with people. I got my cousin I talk to. I can talk to Javan, and it's like I try to talk and sort of when I'm sort of
like-minded people.
Yeah, when I get to that point where it's I feel like I'm just finna just fall out or give up, I call one of them and just they talk me through it, help me, and then I pick up the Bible or anything like that. But there's tons of things you can do. Hey, actually share some of the things you do that sort of help you on your day-to-day journey, because it is a hard thing, because Satan is very real and temptation is very real. But of course, the more you kill off that old man, the more you help build one another and try to work with one another, the better it is, the easier it sort of gets, if you will. But those are a couple of things that I try to do.
I'm glad you said that, brother. That's one more thing that I want to talk about, just a little home, what they call this? Housekeeping? Little stuff in-house. Yeah,
in-house cleaning.
In-house cleaning, whatever you want to call it.
Dirty.
Us as Christians in the Church of Christ, we have this tendency to have this mindset of... it ain't my business. They grown. They make their own decisions. I don't got nothing to do with that. I'm just trying to do what I can. Yeah. I tried to tell them once, but you didn't tell them out of love, so they got an attitude. And they're not going to listen anyway. I think us as Christians, we have to hold one another accountable, but it has to be out of love. We had the love topic a couple of weeks ago on the show, talking about love, how we got to do it out of love. Man, we have to have a genuine love for our brothers and sisters, because what we have to recognize is we really are connected through Jesus. This is my brother. This is not just my friend. I really look at him as my brother, and just try to think on the immediate level, the people who live in your house, your blood brothers and sisters. If you see them going down this path, you won't hesitate to bite your tongue and without telling them and trying to steer them back, because that's your brother, your blood brother. So you have a genuine love for them, even though you might not be nice, be the friendliest to each other all the time. That's how it goes. But you have a genuine love for them. So when I see Chris going down this road and we doing the this kind of stuff, it's important that I don't encourage it or make it seem like it's all right. I can be out of love, like, hey, brother, I feel like you're doing this, bro. Let's just, let's try to get back on the right path and encourage each other. Yeah. And I think us as Christians have to do a better job of that. It's a team effort. We all have to try to help each other, get through this life being Christian, so that when the world sees us, we're unified. Christ, he had the one church for a reason, and that's part of one of the aspects of, we always talk about the one church, but what's the reason for the church being one? Why does he emphasize us being one in accord on all situations and being unified? Because we need each other for the support system. Christ came down here. He experienced temptation, and the Pharisees coming to him each and every day. He experienced this for himself, and he did that for a reason. He realized that we're going to need each other. It's not going to be easy. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be perfect, but we can help each other out. So I think we have to have that type of mentality, that kind of spirit of encouraging each other with some, have healthy conversations. Me and Chris, we joke around, but we're like-minded. We can talk about sports or anything, but we can also come together and talk about our spirituality, and our faith, and be on the same level and try to help each other grow. Even if I am further in the Word or he's further in the Word, he's been studying more than me, it's all right. Because that's what he's there for. So he's picking up the slack from me, and he's trying to help me get on pace. So that's what we have to be there for, man. That's the only way we're going to be able to beat sin. We can't beat it by ourselves. We need each other, the church, and we need Christ. Mm-hmm. A lot.
I like how you put that. I just always try to think of it as really a active body. Like when it calls us the body of Christ, you got to think about what your body does. If you try to get sick, you got cells that try to go fight it off and things like that. And that's how deep it is for us as far as being in the body of Christ. We got to strengthen each other, so when Satan tries to tempt us, or even when the world tries to come at us, we're strong enough to sort of combat it and be strong enough in God's word that we can handle it. And that's what it's really all about. I got to look out for him. He got to look out for me. We got to look out for each other. And I think a lot of days, or a lot of times nowadays, we've getting to that point where, it's sort of about me, and then I'm here to judge. But you got to be careful about how you play judge, jury, executioner, because I'm paraphrasing, but they do talk about, the Bible does talk about how however you judge, it's going to come back on you twice as hard, or just as hard. So it's like, I'm not trying to judge nobody, because it's already hard enough out here. So you just got to be real careful. And we got to understand at the end of the day, we have to look out for each other. If I call myself a Christian, it is an obligation for me to look out for everybody. Even if I don't like them that much. It doesn't matter who they are, what they've done to me. I have to look out for them. That is our job. And it takes being selfless to get that. And that's like the hardest thing to do is kill self. But that's the thing you got to do, is to sort of deny self and try to build up others, as hard as it is. But it'll benefit everybody in the end. And that's like the ultimate goal is to get to heaven. We got to help each other get there.
And one more thing, I'm going to say this last thing before we mention some other things and end out the show tonight, because we're getting close to time. But showing that kind of love, the world sees that. And the only way that we are going to help our team grow as the church, our team against Christ, to help our team, so so we can combat him even more, is showing that love to one another. Because somebody who's out there in the world living however they want to, they don't have anybody to answer to, they're not answering to God, they're answering to themselves. So they're living this type of lifestyle, and they're doing what they want to. What makes them want to? I think that needs to be a topic. What would make somebody from the world want to leave from doing whatever they want to and coming and putting Christ on as their Savior, and proclaiming him to be the Savior of their lives? What would make somebody want to do that? And the first step is us showing love to each other. When you're out there in the world, somebody who's not a Christian, they can see the difference in us. And then that makes them be like, wow, what they have is genuine. You don't see that kind of love everywhere. I want what they got. You know what I'm saying? So once they see that and they see that it's real, that will prompt them to just ask more questions. Hey, man, I see something kind of different in you, man. Maybe we can hang out or something. And, they get to figuring it out. And then you have an opportunity to show, mention God, mention Christ, bring them to church with you, man, and save their soul, man. That's what it's all about. Sure. But it first starts with us having that love for each other, man, and just encouraging each other. Even when we mess up, man, eyes are always on us. So, there's a couple more questions on there. If we have time, if you miss church and don't repent, in front of the church and you ask God to give you at home, are you in sin? I know a lot of times I used to think like that, like from one thing to another. God, when he died for us, the blood is continuously, cleansing us. So it's about your heart. You miss church or whatever.
I'm glad you said it like that.
Yeah, it's about, it's not
about the heart.
You do this thing and you die on that basis. No, God, he does know your heart, and that seems cliche, but like I said earlier, when you sin, how do you respond to it? Because we're gonna mess up, but it's how you respond.
You're human.
to it. If you're getting comfortable just not coming to church, you're in a bad place, and that's probably
terrible state.
Yeah, you're just comfortable with it. It doesn't bother you to come. You wake up on Sunday morning, you think, I didn't even know it was Sunday. I know when I wake up on Sunday, it feels like Sunday, and if I don't go to church, the rest of my week feels off.
Terrible.
So I think it's just one of those kind of situations where it's more of a relationship and not just if I do this, is this a sin? Or there's a lot of stuff that may not be sin, like you said, listen to rap music, but is God pleased with that? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this kind of stuff is just on a relationship basis, and you have to think of it as if I'm with Chris, if I do this kind of stuff, I know Chris ain't gonna like it. That's my homeboy. It's been my partner for almost 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So. I know Chris don't like this, so why would I do that? Even if he didn't say don't do this, I know he won't like it. So it's just one of those kind of things. So I hope I answered it the best I can. Like I said, that's just my perspective. So for that topic, for tonight, we're going to mention a few things. There's some things in the description. We have a morning devotion with Alvin Daniels. Under this video, if you click on it, I think it says show more. You click under there. There'll be a lot of details in there, some links for you to click directly on that and check that out. So throughout your week, like you said, some things that'll help you out, keep you on the right path. That morning devotion, you go ahead and get that in as soon as you wake up. I'm sure that will make your day a lot better. Then we have George Williams in the description from the Eastside Church of Christ. He has a great sermon on there. So you guys go in there and check that out for your spiritual growth. There's a couple other things on there. We have the live acapella concerts playlist. I think earlier we played a video from that. Brother Copeland with the Dothanaires at their homecoming at Delaware Heights in South Alabama. That is on the live acapella concerts playlist. And we want to make mention of Humble is the Way. He's another one of our fellow YouTubers. We have a close relationship with him.
He has some real good videos.
Yeah,
you got to check him out. He got some great
He's
videos.
been traveling lately, and his most recent travel is to Chicago, Illinois for a concert that they had up there. And there's a video on there of Straight Company with Chris Turner, Jason Walker, a lot of talented singers on there and evangelists, just using their gifts to uplift Christ and save souls. So everybody go on there and check out Humble is the Way. Check out his YouTube page. It is spelled, well, I'm not going to say how to spell it. Figure it out. YouTube, they got all correct. I don't really want to mess his man's credentials up. But go in there and check it out. All this stuff is in the what I said, the details, descriptions. So go in there and check that out, man. Show love to our fellow people, man. We just trying to get the word out there. Like he said, he has a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of views on there.
Hey,
so
one thing,
we really appreciate
can we get some
him.
more ciphers? Because I think that's what I'm saying. Because when you went in I got to say this because it inspired me. Malcolm Hines, when you did that cipher with him, that was amazing. If I could see some more ciphers, I'd love it. But check out his page. He has a lot of good stuff. But we getting ready to close. I think it's about that time.
Man.
So.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Come back next Thursday, same time.
Tuesday.
I'm your co-host, Javan Bailey.
Tuesday. I'm Chris.
And we say that one more time, brother.
MIP video.
MIP.
We got one more video. We got a MIP. MIP. Pooh and MIP.
Very own John Malone Jr. This is his new
talented.
group. Collaborative effort. A lot of keep.
What's the song?
I'm not really sure. The group
it's
name
a video.
is MIP.
It's MIP. Check it out. Tell us what you think about it. Y'all have a great night.
I mean, I didn't want to spill. I had it in here, but I didn't know if that's how you spill it.
that washed me clean. Oh, the blood that purifies me. The blood that maketh me white as snow. I don't know where I could go. Whoa, the blood that cleansed my filthy stains. It was the blood that changed my name. I just want to say thank you for the blood. Thank you for the blood. Oh Lord, thank you for the blood. Yeah, thank you for the blood.
Thank you for the blood.
Thank you for the blood. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the blood.
Anybody feel like me?
Thank you for the
The blood was shed for me. On Calvary. I'm thankful for the blood. If it had not been for the blood, I don't know where I would be saying no. The blood that cleansed me, set me free. Oh, the blood, it makes me white as snow. Surely he has borne our griefs, carried all our sorrow. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God and afflicted. He was wounded for my transgression, and by his stripes we are healed. I'm saved, sanctified. The blood, saved. I've been changed. I know I've been redeemed.